People everywhere are starting to listen to him. He's going on French, British, Italian, Japanese television.
This is the Wide World of Weingarten.
Wide World of Weingarten, Thursday, January 27th, 10:15 in Los Angeles. Getting a little bit of an earlier start today. I had an early morning. Got to wake up every couple hours with the new pups to make sure she's not pooping all over the floor right now. So it's been an early schedule for me the last couple days, but very rewarding helping rehabilitate this little pup of mine. On Sunday, we have two games to decide who's going to the Super Bowl, also known as the AFC and NFC Championship game. In the morning, we have the Bengals at Kansas City. 7. The Chiefs are still favored by 7. I think Chiefs probably the right side here. If I had to bet this game right now, I would lay minus 335 or 350, whatever. No more than minus 350 or so, but I would lay the money line on the first game. Although, as I dive deeper into this, I am more compelled to bet some Bengals offensive props after seeing Josh Allen's performance against the Kansas City defense last weekend, and knowing that they played all the way to overtime. Not necessarily the defense. The Kansas City defense didn't actually see the field in overtime, so they didn't play any extra snaps in overtime, but they did have to play, to the final whistle in regulation. So they gave their full effort, and I think they will be a little tired out versus a powerful Bengals passing offense. I could see Joe Burrow going over a lot of his prop totals, the yard total, the total touchdowns. If you can get 1.5 or 2, I could see him throwing 2 touchdowns easily against this defense. Don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game. If Kansas City wins, I could easily see them winning, 42-31, 42-33, kind of major shootout. The Bengals could keep pace. Bengals could win. Bengals could cover. Wouldn't necessarily exclude either of those situations from occurring, but I'm more interested Kansas City on the money line, maybe in-game Kansas City on the money line if the Bengals score first, but I do think that we are going to see a major offensive showdown in the AFC on Sunday midday. I guess that game starts at like noon or something. Me personally, I am mostly focused on the Rams game, the game I will be attending, a bunch of my friends. So I'm excited about that more than anything else this weekend, except maybe golf. I'm pretty excited about potentially having a contender in golf this weekend. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. But the Rams defense is peaking at the right time. Their defensive backs held up against Kyler Murray and Tom Brady, even with Jordan Fuller, Taylor Rapp missing both of those games. Taylor Rapp now expected to play on Sunday against 49ers. But the big story, if you look through the box score and some of the advanced numbers from the Bucs game, was Von Miller's performance, and it took him a couple weeks to get acclimated versus the Rams. But in the for the Rams, but in the second round versus the Bucs, Von Miller had 12 pass rush wins, which was the most by any single player in a game since Myles Garrett had 13 against the Bengals in Week 2 of the 2020 season. So that was another example of the Rams defense peaking at the right time, and obviously Miller is benefiting from playing alongside Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd, and Greg Gaines, unsung hero of that Rams defensive line. But they're very strong, and while they're very strong, Trent Williams is still officially questionable, and it's too early to know his practice status for Thursday at 10:20 in the morning right now. I can't say if he's practicing or not. I don't expect him to practice, but I don't expect that to matter either. He'll be playing regardless of if he takes a snap or not at practice. Trent Williams does not need to practice, in all honesty. Tomorrow I will dive more into props for these two games. I still have some work to do, but I could definitely tell you that Kyle Juszczyk, first touchdown, anytime touchdown to score twice, will definitely be on my card. I think Greg Kittle gets most of the credit and most of the most of the attention, but it's clear to me that the more you watch film, Kyle Juszczyk is one of the more important players. He's a blocking fullback. He can catch the ball. He can carry the ball in short yardage and goal line situations. And I think you're in a championship game with a team you've played already and beaten in the last month. It's time. It's absolutely time to get your better players and to use any plays that you've been holding back. And I think getting the ball into Kyle Juszczyk's hands is something that the 49ers could do that they didn't necessarily do Week 17, and the Rams will not necessarily be focusing their game plan on. So, like I said, more props. We'll talk about what's going on in that game tomorrow. But my money's on the Rams already. I think the Rams win. I think Kansas City more likely to win. I would like to see Rams versus Bengals. I think that would be the most fun matchup in the Super Bowl. But any of these four teams playing each other at this point would be a very worthy and acceptable Super Bowl matchup. Onto the Series Caribe, which starts tomorrow from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Game 1 for the Dominicans tomorrow. They'll be facing the Charros de Jalisco from the Mexican Pacific League. The Charros from Guadalajara play in the suburb of Zapopan. I call them the Colorado Rockies of the Mexican Pacific League. Funny quick story about them. Several seasons ago, you used to be able to bet them. The openers would open up, over 10.5, over 11.5. And I call them the Colorado Rockies of the Mexican Pacific League because Zapopan, Guadalajara is at something like 5,000 feet, 4,200 feet. It's one of the higher stadiums in the league, and the ball travels just like it does in Coors Field. The games frequently see 14, 15, 16, 20 runs. Although not as much as usual. The quality of the pitching has gotten slightly better over the last couple seasons. But I love that stadium. They used it at the WBC one season, made a lot of money off that, or not a season, for a tournament. But the Charros are the winners of the Mexican Pacific League, and they'll be sending their team to Santo Domingo. I just saw a tweet. They're flying there as we speak right now. But yeah, their totals used to be like 11, 10.5, go up to 11.5 maybe. And we'd bang the openers, bang them everywhere. And eventually Chris caught on and would start opening them at 13 and 14. And then there'd be value occasionally betting the unders. But I could tell you this because there's no edge on it anymore. It's not a secret that, the Charros de Jalisco play at extreme altitude. Might have been a bit of a secret a couple years ago. You can make money blindly betting the overs, but like most things where you can make money blindly betting something, eventually the market will catch up to you, and the market's caught up to that. So don't think you're getting some sort of secret that I'm giving away. It's dead. But yeah, the Charros play the Gigantes, the Dominican team, game 1 tomorrow. I expect the Charros to open up as underdogs. There are no overnight lines as far as I could tell. Maybe Bet365 will have overnight lines, but it doesn't really matter because I can't bet them and the limits are tiny anyway. But Tyler Alexander pitches for the Dominicans. He's sort of a soft-throwing lefty on the AAA Mexican circuit. Pitches, I think, I couldn't tell you who he pitched for last year in Mexico, but he did pitch in Mexico, I believe. And Brennan Bernardino is pitching for the Charros. He's actually from Valencia, California, plays in the Mexican League, never got above high A after he was drafted by the Reds a couple years ago. But he strikes out. He throws a lot of strikeouts. I have him at 72 strikeouts over the last 69.2 innings in Mexico. So we're looking at a strikeout and inning dude for the Charros. And if you know anything about Dominicans, if you know anything about Cubans as hitters, they love to swing. They don't have a lot of discipline. Strikeouts are the name of their game, or home runs. 3 true outcome kind of players, although they don't really. It's more like a 2 true outcome because the walks are usually not there. So I'm expecting the Charros to open up as underdogs in this game because they will be facing the Dominicans at home. The Dominicans with practically a fringe major league roster with dudes like Robinson Cano and Marcelo Ozuna and Hansner Alberto. They will be favored. Would not surprise me to see them pushing minus 200 by game time. If I can get a nice dog price, anything plus 150 or above on the Charros, I will definitely be on the Charros in game 1. Charros de Jalisco. I have a hat. I will probably be wearing it on the show tomorrow. But as far as the pitching rotation goes for the Dominicans, I figured it out. I looked it up. Tyler Alexander pitches game 1. Raul Valdez starts Saturday versus Puerto Rico. Yuneski Maya Sunday versus Panama. Lizalberto Bonilla on Monday against Colombia. Albert Abreu on Tuesday against Venezuela in a game that might not matter because they'll probably be through to the next round. But Puerto Rico, Panama, Colombia, those 3 games, I will open up a 3-team moneyline parlay on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and fill it with the Dominicans. I expect them to win all 3 of those games. Panama, Colombia, they'll probably smash them. But we'll get into those games more in depth because I've definitely seen situations where the Panamanian and Colombian teams have played better than expected. Although there's also usually ways to make money with live team totals and stuff on these things if you're paying attention. But we just have to take it on a day-by-day basis for this. And day 1, which is Friday, tomorrow, my first bet, Jalisco at 150 plus 150 or better if I can find those numbers in the morning. Now we're going to take a quick break so you can hear a word from our sponsor, and then I'm going to come back and talk about golf. So stay tuned. Welcome back, Wide World of Weingarten. Following up on the PGA and the European Tour. I'm still calling it the European Tour, even though it is the DP World Tour now. It's going to take me a while to get that in my head. Billy Horschel is the leader in San Diego at the Farmers Open at Torrey Pines. 10 under. Second round has just teed off. There's still about half the field or so left ready to go out there today. But leaderboard looks as you would expect it. John Rahm loves this course, one of his favorites, former winner. He is 8 under. He's currently under 2-1 to win, so he's really giving value to the rest of the field because he's such a short favorite. Although it's really hard to bet against him. I'm willing at 2-1 if I could still grab a 2-1. In a moment, as soon as I'm done talking about this, if I can get anything close to 2-1 plus 190, 195 would still be acceptable. I'd basically cover the other bets I've made so far in the tournament and hope that Rahm loses. But I definitely think we'll be seeing Rahm in contention down the back 9 on Saturday. Remember, this is Thursday, but they're playing the second round already, so they finished Saturday as to not interfere with our football watching. Other notables, Francesco Molinari, who I highlighted last week and this week, is tied for 4th at 7 under. Looks to be playing well, looks to be killing his odds again. I would like to bet him at Riviera when he's in LA in a couple weeks. That's the country club where he's a member of. Looks like his form has been really good the last couple weeks. But obviously the secret's out with back-to-back top 10 finishes potentially. You'll see his odds. You won't see 100 to 1 or 80 to 1. You'll see a 60 or 50, which kind of kills the value. makes me, hesitant to bet, more than $100 on him at 50-1 or anything. I think he's probably about 30-1 live right now. Trailing Rahm though, it's everybody's, a huge number. Taylor Pendrith looks good. My 7 under. I've kept him off my cards, but I frequently kind of look at him as a guy who I think has potential to break through and win a tournament this year. Maverick McNeely, who I bet and who was a popular pick. I saw a lot of people with him on their cards on Twitter. He is 6 under, 4 shots back Billy Horschel, 2 shots back John Rahm. Better than it could be, worse than I'd like. But if he can get through the weekend, if he can get to the weekend still in the top 10, I feel good about holding him at 66-1 and having a top 10 on him at least. All is not lost. Luke List, another guy I like, tied for 13th. Same with Dustin Johnson, both at 5 under. Sashit Theegala, also 5 under. Just got to keep in mind they're playing split courses, north and south course. The north course is much easier, I think, by almost 2 strokes so far this year. Tomorrow, after the cut, they play the south course twice. So the harder course will be played twice more this weekend. Course doesn't look like it's playing incredibly hard. Roughs look solid, like they've watered them well this week. But I think everyone's going to be trailing Rahm, and someone's going to have to play with their hair on fire to really pull ahead of Rahm this weekend. In Dubai, where I have slightly more action, JB Joachim Hansen leads the field at 7 under. Justin Harding, who I bet at 100 and 140-1, is not tied. He's solo second at 6 under through 17. Still has the 18th to finish in the morning. Very, very happy with my position on Justin Harding. As I've mentioned before, Justin Harding is one of my favorite golfers. I've won money on him a couple different times. One time being when he won the Kenyan Open. I think it was like 2017, when I didn't necessarily wasn't as good or strong a gambler as I am now, and winning it really helped me at a big number. Kind of strengthened my bankroll. So I'm always fond of Justin Harding. I bet him again this weekend. I'm rooting for him. He's, like I said, not tied. He's solo second. I'm used to saying people are tied. He's solo second at 6 under. Other notables, Tommy Fleetwood, Sergio Garcia, who I highlighted yesterday, are tied for 3rd at 5 under. Hovland, Morikawa, who were both favorites at under 10-1 to start, are both at 4 under. Morikawa at one point was 6 under, was running away sort of, and his live odds were cut to under 3-1. I think he's rebounded a little bit now, but similar to Rahm at Torrey Pines, Colin Morikawa on these desert courses, you can't count him out. He will obviously be in contention going into and through the weekend. Brandon Stone, who was 170-1, 4 under in contention. I see Tyrell Hatton, who I bet last week, 3 under. Sam Horsfeld, who I did bet this week, at 3 under as well. A little further down, I see some dudes that are on my card that aren't really making any waves yet. Rory's at -1. Can't ever count him out. Matthias Schmid, who I like, is +1. Does not look to be doing anything yet. Laurie Cantor started early, started strong, got 2 under. Is now at 3 over. Disappointing start for him. I thought he was very live this weekend. It does not look like he is very live at all. And then the LPGA Tour, the second round has not teed off yet. Actually, I'm sorry, the first round is just finished today. Again, I'm getting the Thursday thing mixed up because PGA started on Wednesday this week. But Danielle Kang, who's coming off a win in the LPGA Tournament of Champions, is also leading after the first round at the Gainbridge Gainbridge event on the LPGA Tour, the second event of the year. So she's following up a win with a first round leader win, and that's very impressive. She's Maverick McNeely's girlfriend, and sooner or later Maverick McNeely's going to have to win a tournament, or else his girlfriend's going to keep being the best golfer in that relationship, which I'm sure he's really not that disappointed in. Anyway, so yeah, that's the show for today. Let's see what happens with golf for the rest of today. I'll come back tomorrow and tell you what to look for after the cuts. Hopefully Justin Harding can keep it up, and hopefully we can see something out of some of these other guys I have near the top, and McNeely or whatever. But I do see Molinari just birdied again to go to 8 under. Rahm is 3 under through 4 for 9 under, so that 2-1 I was talking about is gone. He will be odds on by the end of the day if he keeps this up. Yeah, I always hate to see that when you see a guy odds on in golf before the end of the second round, but it's Jon Rahm, so not really surprised there. That's the show. Be back tomorrow. We'll go over props for the championship games, more golf, more Series Caribe. I'll tell you my favorite Series Caribe story involving former Gold Nugget bookmaker Aaron Kessler. Thank you for tuning in, and back tomorrow with more sports, more everything.